Alternate probabilities existing in the same
I'm a homophone, I'm a homicide, I'm a homophobe. I promise I gotta lock it low with a technical on a transphobe in the frontal lobe. Like pop, 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 spread ahead like a centerfold. I'm horrifying to behold like a floating eye in a dungeon crawl. The beholder, older than my age, ever present eggs, ever shaking legs. If you let me to a peg, and without much, I'm a cloud muncher, a bed puncher, a cop dodger, call father, a cat caller, run a cat collar, a cat collar, run a cat collar. You get it? Yeah. I'm a scrappy little beast. Every dog up in this bitch is chomping at the piece. I'm a peaceful, blissed out hippie with a mean streak. Please step into the front so you can see me. In your face, every place I visit, I'm ugly, cute like an ungulate. I'm fun to spin with, then I'll make you jump. If you're front, let me see those motherfucking paws up, paws up. Yeah. If you're crying, let me see the motherfucking paws up, paws up. If you pause. My heart is lemonade, raised by a northern Everglade. This will swap the age, it will stuck your face. If you talk to gay, I'm a preparate every single day, everywhere I stay. And around the bay, and around the USA. Lay my head in Corbin next to Colonel Sanders, then I pray. House in LA, all price drop rapidly. Future presidents are on vacay, it's sort of stow away until the deed is mine one day. Fuck it, we swap the day.
Yeah, that's all of us.
Get real, get right, get money, get tight, get honey, get by, get horny, get fly, get money, get mine, kill Tony, do crime, no phony, don't lie, get on it, get real, get right, get money, get tight, get honey, get by, get horny, get fly, get money, I'm a scrappy little beast. Every dog up in this bitch is chomping at the piece. I'm a peaceful, blissed out hippie with a mean streak. Please step into the front so you can see me. In your face, every place I visit, I'm ugly, cute like an ungulate. I'm fun to spin with, and I'll make you jump. If you're crunk, it's gonna fucking buzz up, buzz up. If you're crunk, let me see those motherfucking buzz up, buzz up. If you're crunk, let me see those motherfucking buzz up, buzz up.
All right, tell them.
Motherfuckers think I don't sleep, don't eat, just peep game and they right. I'm a too bright night light, strike you blind, make it frightful, so delightful, mind brightener. If you're hiding something in that darkness, she's a frightener. Harkins are garden of Eden to the sweetest hardening of a clean spark. Here we go, get it raw, so you glance, hear it. You entranced by the camera, slammed by a man, bruh, clamoring for more ham in your yams, huh? Man loving man, I'm a fan, bruh. I like it. Saucy, yeah. I'm a scrappy little beast. Every dog up in this bitch is chopping at the piece. I'm a peaceful, blissed out hippie with a mean streak. Please step into the front so you can see me. In your face, every place I visit, I'm ugly, cute like an ungulate. I'm fun to spit with, then I'll make you jump. If you're crunk, let me see those proper fucking paws up, paws up. Yeah. If you're crunk, let me see those proper fucking paws up, paws up.
Yeah.
If you're crunk, let me see those proper fucking paws up, paws up. Wanna stroll through my soul, you pay the troll toll each day. Rent if you wanna stay inside of me. Spend like a reverie, weather be jitters, but I get heavy dick in it when I win it, better bet. Just an old idea, do you remember? We rhymed about getting over January through December. I've always been a spender with some cheap taste. Burned through a whole pound of green with some mean haze. Like I'm Titus with the Midas touch. Eat metal shit, blood die quick like a soldier, sucking on a big fat dick in a foxhole, cop hole right when the bombs drop. Whiskey tango, foxtrot, cock slot.
Trixie.
Yeah, let's go, sit down. See, what I'm sick of is the prissy, particular, pretentious, entitled, demanding that's never reconciled. Expanding the reticular, the picture's pretty wild. Perspective perpendicular, vindictive, vicious, foul. I'm wild across America, I don't care who was in France. I gambled once in Canada, but wasn't much a fan. Spent one day in Atlanta, but I don't speak Korean. Legalize weed and you'll find me in Philippines, Japan, and Brazil. Let's chill. Don't hold your inner daughter's body underwater, let her breathe. Clean your teeth, definitely don't be like me. Do better, rate green, keep cheddar, don't spend, just weather this era, expand after winter's end. No more play pretend time, end zone rhymes, this is scored again time, yeah. No more play pretend time, end zone rhymes, this is scored again time, yeah. Defibrillate the party, I just inhaled some distillate and sipped on some Bacardi. The arty party, smarty tardy, so when I say pistol it ain't pointed at the hardy, puts the hardy meat inside of me, he cooks, you see. My hits are on the books, my fits get hella looks, my fella's not a crook, but knows I'm bitchy, crooked and twisty like a brook. Still shook and still shaky, what I take and what I'm making is a book about the baby that grew into me. When you get into me, I get into you, it's what a hook do. You should give the lyric book a look through. If you feel it, you should sing along, make what I say true. Either way, I'll speak it every day and spin the thank yous and acclaim again. No more play pretend time, end zone rhymes, this is scored again time, yeah. No more play pretend time, end zone rhymes, this is scored again time, yeah. KRS-One can come and slap me if you want, but it would probably turn me on, so probably gonna wanna stick to guns. For anyone that think I make a target in my target shorts and hand-me-downs, I'm chilling just around Northside, Norfolk, Virginia, smoking a dirt weed blunt in my mama garage. It's too late to attempt to maintain a barrage. Had a chance to be boss, traded it for Cassage and a need of a bra. Now I'm a broke bitch. Oops. That's the whole sitch. Now you know this. Everybody. Trixie Goldie Witch. That's me. Trixie Goldie Witch. You know, it is what it is. She cut the edge. Yeah. Still talking. Listen to the album again. Cool. Fuck you, bitch. Eat metal shit, blood die quick like a soldier, sucking on a big fat dick in a foxhole, cop hole, right 100 more bombs drop. Whiskey tango, foxtrot, cock slop. Eat metal shit, blood die quick like a soldier, sucking on a big fat dick in a foxhole, rock hole, right lit bombs drop. Whiskey tango, foxtrot, cock slop. Bitch. Mustard, ho. Yeah. Mayonnaise. All right.
Hello, everybody. It's me, Trixie the Golden Witch here. I'm running for president in 2028. It says 2024 for some reason on my name. I don't know how I fucked that up so badly. I went that whole entire last stream with it saying that I would be president this year. No, in 2028, I'll be president. And since I'm going to be president, I have to be better about not making promises, because as an intelligent person, I know that when you talk about doing something, it gives you the same emotion as having done it. And so if you say something like, I'm going to come back in an hour, it's like, well, you already got the emotional gratification of having said you would come back in an hour. So now you can come back whenever you want. And sometimes that means 9 hours later. It was like 1 p.m. when I ended my last stream. Didn't feel like 9 hours to me, because I spent that whole time working on music. Not only did I finish The Beholder, I debuted this song last night on a stream, but I decided to add another vocal track to it, and I think it sounds better now. So this is you just heard the final version of The Beholder, and what will be the last track on my upcoming album, Cock Slop. Not the last one that's been made. Just I know it's going to be the final song because it's like a very final song. But you know, I've got 4 finished tracks now. I've got By Daybreak, Hunted K, The Beholder, in parentheses, pause up, and Cock Slop. And then I've also got like 4 halfway finished songs, maybe even 5 halfway finished songs actually. I've got 2 that I sent the demos to Sarah Louise. I've got one that I sent the demo to Dima Foxpaws. I've got one that I am now going to get Nino to feature on. And then I've got one that's just completely self-produced. And I'm currently recording takes for it. I think it's still missing something. This is definitely a very weird song. Like, it's never going to quite, no matter what I do to it, it's never going to quite be like traditionally listenable. It's a very weird song just by nature of what it is. But I think I can make it good weird. And right now it's not quite there yet. It's almost good weird. I'll play it for you and you can tell me what you think it needs.
Maybe deep in the bowl, but I'm gonna get a reasonable. If you try to get a squeeze in me dough, maybe deep in the hole, but I gotta let it reason to blow. So you know I gotta keep with the flow, lady bo, beep, beep, what I sow. When I find my sheep, what I mean, people crazy that you follow me, but I'm down for peace, and we just for gold, I'm blessed for gold. Future sight like a booster gold, when I boost a dress and my skirt fold, skirt rolled up, hold up in a frog in a smoggy city like a groggy kitty, got caught in a tizzy in the back of a Honda City when I hit my roll right past the toll booth on the way out of the city, on the way to something pretty with about 650 in the bank and a big old bag of dank, and my best friend Blake here with me just singing along to my popular songs and calling it that's good shit, Tracy. Baby deep in the bowl, but I'm gonna get a reasonable. If you try to get a squeeze in me dough, baby deep in the hole, but I gotta let it reason to blow. So you know I gotta keep with the flow, lady bo, beep, beep, what I sow. When I find my sheep, what I mean, people crazy that you follow me, but I'm down for peace, and we just for gold. It's cold up there, there's bears and shit, so please beware and do take care and do stay woke and wary. Token carry, broken, scary, choked and buried, choked and buried, choked and buried, choked and buried, choked and buried. Cheap in the bowl, but I'm gonna get a reasonable. If you try to get a squeeze on me dough, baby deep in the hole, but I gotta let a reason to blow. So you know I gotta keep with the flow, lady bo, beep, beep, with a soul. When I find my sheep, what I mean, people crazy that you follow me, but I'm bound for peace, and we dress for gold. Maybe cheap in the bowl, but I'm gonna get a reasonable. If you try to get a squeeze on me dough, baby deep in the hole, but I gotta let a reason to blow. So you know I gotta keep with the flow, lady bo, beep, beep, with a soul. When I find my sheep, what I mean, people crazy that you follow me, but I'm bound for peace, and we just for gold. It's cold up there, there's bears and shit, so please beware and do take care and do stay woke and wary. Token carry, broken, scary, choked and buried, choked and buried, choked and buried, choked and buried, choked and buried. Cheap in the bowl, but I'm gonna get a reasonable. If you try to get a squeeze on me dough, baby deep in the hole, but I gotta let a reason to blow. So you know I gotta keep with the flow, lady bo, beep, beep, with a soul. When I find my sheep, what I mean, people crazy that you follow me, but I'm bound for peace, and we dress for gold. Maybe cheap in the bowl, but I'm gonna get a reasonable. If you try to get a squeeze on me dough, baby deep in the hole, but I gotta let a reason to blow. So you know I gotta keep with the flow, lady bo, beep, beep, with a soul. When I find my sheep, what I mean, people crazy that you follow me, but I'm bound for peace, and we dress for gold. It's cold up there, there's bears and shit, so please beware, do take care, do stay woke and wary. Token carry, broken, scary, choked and buried, oh, choked and buried, oh, choked and buried, oh, choked and buried, oh, choked and buried.
I think I'm probably going to add a couple more vocal takes to that. Something that's kind of like a like ethereal, hollow, kind of like maybe chief in a bowl, but I'm no, maybe chief in a bowl, but I'm gonna get a reasonable. If you try to get a squeeze of me dough, like I don't know, I gotta have something up in the higher range, but it has to sound really hollow. I've got some crazy. Sarah, you're here. Do you mind if I play my Frolic demo? I have no idea what you are going to do to it when it comes time to mix it, but I know that it sounds awesome, and I want people to experience it. Not at all. All right, let's go. Let's go. I'm gonna play y'all This is maybe the song I'm the most excited about from this album. But to achieve the effect I wanted, I recorded 23 vocal takes layered over each other. Where will I find this? It would be just called like Frolic, right? Or like, what's the fucking full name of the video of the fucking file? Hold on. Just go to the fucking DMs. Into my drive. It'll be in my drive. It'll be here. Okay. Frolic unmastered test version. I don't know why this isn't in the folder with everything else. Sarah says I made this beat with a migraine. Well, it makes my brain feel good.
Speculate? No, like the ASAP Rocky.
Just get the way you shake your chest off, fall my waist off, gas and no break, that big place, square break, straight up stare from place to face, gonna stick out the same, gonna six up the face, I'm chasing face, so run out from this place, keep out the river like it sounds late, keep out the river, be around and down the shit, round I make them rolling, yeah, I'm rolling, I'm rolling, I'm a system, keep out the big dogs, get up the door, and I'm there for the man, now we see the big sound, take these, bleed, bullets, endlessly, bullets, endlessly, falling in the field of me, the shield he reveals to me, whatever you call it, it reveals to me, feel me, then underneath the skin, put on the peggy with your peggy, you better be scaring the hoes, the fighting the gloves, the greedy, frolic in the field of me, no shield he revealed to me, whatever you call it, it revealed to me, feel me, then underneath the skin, frolic in the field of me, no shield he revealed to me, whatever you call it, it reveals to me, feel me, dream within underneath the skin, no skin.
Lapusha, you may have missed the read stream, but you're here just in time for the no concept, absolutely whatever you want. I don't give a shit. It's Saturday night stream. So, feel free to request literally anything. I just spent all day making music instead of streaming, which is what I would have done if I was smart and wanted to make money on a long Saturday. When I haven't really made that much money yet this month, which will come back to bite me at the end of next month. But I really wanted my music. I want this album. I want this album to be done. There's a couple more demos I could play you. I don't know if I want to play the one I sent to Dima, because Dima's not here to say, yes, you can play the unfinished, unmastered song. But there's another one I sent to Sarah, but I don't want to play that one unmastered because it's a little messy. It needs a little cleanup. How many pages is the next Manhunt chapter? And the other song that's not finished needs a verse on it, so I don't want to play that one either. I don't remember saving my place. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's 8 pages long, the next chapter of Manhunt, the ball cutting book. Book about cutting balls off and eating them to stay a woman in the manpocalypse. Frolic is going to be a hit. I can feel it. I fucking hope so. Do you think I need to add another, like a definitive take, or do you think one take out of those could be the? Because there is one that kind of peaks over the others, and I feel like with mixing, it could be singled out as like this is the one. But I could also just do another. Now that I've heard it enough times to find exactly the pocket, you know. All right, Lapusha's paying for Manhunt. It's Manhunt time. Taking the headphones off because I'll read too loud if I've got them on. All right. This is chapter 3 of part 2. Oh, I should probably turn my microphone way up. I didn't realize I was quiet as fuck because I had it at music recording volume. Okay. Chapter 3 of part 2. Never have I ever. Fran tapped the knife against the edge of the frying pan to dislodge the pad of rich yellow butter. It slid across the hot cast iron with a hiss, slicking the metal as it went, and melted into the tangle of thinly sliced onions. There was a brick of fresh butter still in Indy's fridge, milk too, eggs, wild strawberries, a fucking pheasant in wax paper. Fran had nearly cried upon opening the door. Aside from sour apples and the occasional rabbit, she'd been eating salted meat and fruit leather for the better part of 2 years. The bunker had fresh food. She wanted to tip it out into the kitchen floor and roll around in it. I will never be hungry again for as long as I live. Indy's apartment was a far cry from their little dorm rooms. It looked more like something excised from a Korean luxury hotel. Skim coat walls and concrete floors, minimalist white furniture that would have looked right at home in Fran's mother's office in Watertown, a chemical toilet and recycled water shower in an immaculate black bathroom, a painting of some bold clashing shape thingies that looked like it belonged in an advertising firm's lobby and probably cost more than a new car. Fran plucked the balls out of the little plastic dish she'd set by the electric range and dropped them into the pan, angling it with her other hand to make sure they got an even coating of the melted butter. They sizzled, a sound like dozens of small mouths chewing at once. In the living area off the kitchenette, Beth was teaching Robbie how to play screw, both of them slamming cards down on the coffee table and slapping at each other's hands. Fran took a pinch of salt and sprinkled it over the testicles before turning them with a chopstick, exposing their seared and caramelized undersides. You know, I didn't realize how specifically we were going to be jumping into like eating balls when I was making the "This is the balls eating" book joke a second ago. Where the fuck was I? When did I become a person the quality of whose day is determined by whether she eats balls raw or fried? Tomorrow they could worry about the rest of it, the duty shifts and placement interviews, the guards in Shantytown, the look in Sophie Whittle's big round eyes, and the way Indy had come back pale and light-lipped from her tour of her lab and gone straight into bed, claiming she had a migraine. For now it felt good to cook and to forget about the world outside Indy's suite. Even Beth looked relaxed, sprawled sidelong on the couch with her bad leg up on a pillow and her cards held like a courtier's fan over her mouth. Fran gave the balls another minute before snatching them out of the pan. Hissing in pain, she dropped one in her bowl of rice and beans and the other in Beth's, then stuck her burned fingers in her mouth. The salty, faintly cheesy taste of her own skin made her think of being 4 years old in the kitchen at the Marblehead house, a sulky little boy sucking his burnt forefinger after touching the hot griddle just to see. To see what? Redacted. Why had he done it? She couldn't remember. You forgot to use a fork again? Beth drawled. Fran, scraping the onions from the pan with a spatula, glared at her in silence, fingers in her mouth, and tipped more or less equal proportions into all 3 bowls. She killed the range and swept dinner across the room, the odd bowl balanced on her forearm like she'd done while waiting at the boulevard in college. For a while after that, they ate in companionable silence, forks scraping against ceramic. Fran missed the smell of lilacs blowing in through Indy's windows, but the bunker's vast and solid presence made her feel secure, and the cool light of its electric bulbs was soothing. It was after 9 by the kitchen clock, one of those rimless steel circles with lines instead of numbers, when Robbie leaned over Fran's shoulder and prodded her half-eaten testicle with his fork. Is that what they look like? Fran flushed. It felt embarrassing for him to see her artificially outside her body, the way she'd felt when hookups saw her hormones in the drawer of her bedside table. Yes. Why? Beth asked thickly around her own mouthful of fried balls. Did you want some? Weed smoke swirled pale and gray in this recirculated air, migrating slowly toward the vents up near the ceiling. Fran didn't know if they were technically allowed to smoke inside, but it wasn't like they could unpop that cherry. She smiled at that image, a fruit crushed in a pretty fist, fingers unfolding, the cherry whole again, tattoo of a peach with a bite out of it. Never have I ever. Beth sprawled on the couch beside Fran with her head pillowed on the armrest, hesitated, tongue curled up over her upper lip. She tapped the neck of her beer bottle against her teeth in contemplation. Started a fire on purpose. Fran laughed in horrified delight as Robbie, sitting on the floor in front of her with his head resting on her knee, tipped his drink back. Finished, he set the bottle on the floor and reached for another. He popped the cap off neatly with his teeth and grinned at her in an easy, guileless way that made her stomach flutter. She could almost see it, cinders flying through his thick, dark hair in a summer breeze, a gutted house's skeleton collapsing in on itself, red and black and flaming orange, and the wind of it flattening his clothes against his slender frame. Bullshit you did, snapped Indy. It was joking, said with a smile, but even Robbie seemed to feel the edge on it. She'd come out of her bedroom halfway through their dozenth round of gin, smelling like a distillery and with a six-pack of Jay and Dana's homebrew in each hand. Since then, she'd been drinking steadily. Her face was flushed. Sweat stood out on her forehead. I did, protested Robbie, looking faintly hurt and extremely drunk. He blinked. I burned down Stuart Bowman's house, junior year. Fran wondered if he really meant it, but thinking was hard, and Indy's weed was really good. Besides, everyone had done some fucked up shit after tea day, except he did it before. She smothered that thought quickly, clearing her throat. Your turn, Indy. The older woman's huge dark eyes were wet and, just for a moment, unfocused, as though she were lost in a daydream. Her chin trembled. She stifled a hiccup with one dainty hand. The spasm seemed to pull her back into herself. Her eyes narrowed in thought. Never have I ever prayed to God. The rest of them drank. This is all in italics. If he had split the sea for us, Fran's cousin Aaron read from his well-worn Haggadah, and the family in halting unison replied. I don't know what the fuck a Haggadah is. Let me look that up real quick. I assume this is some sort of culture object. The text recited at the Seder on the first 2 nights of the Jewish Passover, including a narrative of the Exodus. Yep, some Jewish stuff. It would have been sufficient. Aaron turned the page, water-stained paper crinkling, and smoothed it lovingly. If he had led us through on dry land, it would have been sufficient. If he had drowned our oppressors, said Aaron. The air was full of the smell of brisket cooked with carrots and onions. Fran, at 7, fidgeted in her seat between her thin and upright mother and her Mimi's warm and fretful bulk. It would have been sufficient. If he had provided for our needs in the wilderness for 40 years. Aaron's reading voice was gentle, though not monotonous. Fran imagined for a shameful moment what he might look like as a woman, with his long fingers and elegant oval face. Would he be convincing? This was the word that occurred to her most often. It would have been sufficient. If he had fed us manna, would she wear her hair long, dark, curly, falls of shadow spilling over her bare shoulders, too broad? It would have been sufficient. A skirt that unfolded like a dragonfly's wings out from long, bare legs, like Sailor Moon. Dear Jesus, please kill Steve. Let him die, and he doesn't come home tonight, and I don't want any other stepdads. Amen. Robbie's mother led the dead cicada of his girlhood through the close, sweltering air under the tent. Stained white canvas snapped and billowed overhead. Hundreds of warm bodies sweated, and the white sundress she'd forced him into clung to his slick skin. His hair was plastered to his neck. People he knew from church pressed close to lay their hands on his shoulders and say how good it was to see such a pretty young woman back with her mother, how worried they'd been, how happy they were. And then a wave ran through the crowd. Their hands drifted away. A towering, red-faced white man swayed up onto the fresh-cut pine boards of the stage. His eyes were closed, his arms raised. Do you believe in the power of the Savior, Lord Jesus Christ, raised up from the dead? And if you do believe, do you accept him into your heart as your personal Savior? When I close my eyes, I see the kingdom of heaven, the city of Jerusalem, made of every precious stone and metal, and I know it will descend and open its gates to the righteous. They cried out. His mother cried out. The stench of sweat thickened in the air as they pressed on toward the stage, toward the huge man and his thundering voice. People had their arms raised up to him. They begged to be healed as he railed against pornographers and psychiatrists, death metal and online chat rooms, anime and crack cocaine. His mother pulled him onward, and now, in among the crowd, the tongues were coming, spilling from slack mouths in torrents of liquid glossolalia, and the man was on his knees at the platform edge where the hands of churchgoers lifted Robbie up, and his mother shrieked, "Throw the devil out of her, Reverend. He's got in her, and he has a hold of her, so throw him out." Those beady blue eyes found his, those big hands came for him, and the sharp smell of mint on the preacher's breath. He wished for his father, dead somewhere on reservation land down near the Carolina border, or for the grandfather he could hardly remember, his mother's father, the farm in Dover, back and forth. The preacher's soft hands met his sweating skin, and it took him. It wore him like a puppet, shaking his body and convulsing his tongue, and the words bubbled out of him. He knew that it was fake, and he knew that it wasn't, that the heat and the fervor of the tent were real, and the hard, desperate need of the people around him who despised themselves and longed to be in love with something pure. And so he let it have him, and while it gabbled in tongues like a thing possessed, and the hands of the crowd held him up, and the preacher gripped his shoulder and held a palm firm against his brow, he prayed. Make me a man, Lord. Take my body and burn away the parts that are wrong. Burn them out of me. I don't care if it hurts. Make me a man. Make me a man. Make me a man. He had bitten his tongue and the taste of blood was in his mouth. Make me a man. Make me a man. Make me a man. Later on the bus, he stared out the window through his own reflection. Stab it. Smash it. Make it leave. While his mother wept beside him. He touched you in there. I saw it, she insisted. Did he take it out of you, Kitty? Did he give me back my baby girl from Satan's arms? And through her tears, her eyes were sharp, her gaze as cold and patient as a snake's. Did he make you whole? He leaned his head against her breast and let her stroke his sweaty hair, and he said, "Yes, Mama," with as much peace as he could summon. But the prayer still echoed in his ears. Lord, make me a man. Indy lay awake, sheets kicked to the floor of her new bed, and thought of the thing in the pit that had once been a man named Mackenzie. That odious rich kid name, whiteness, old money, spoiled and unloved packs of boys like that had roamed the streets of Bridgeport in her childhood. Probably they still did, only now with less discernment as to who they preyed on. If I don't give her what she wants, will she let us live? And if I do, what would it mean to put the future of the world into those little ombre claws? She rolled onto her side and drew her legs up against the comforting weight of her belly, filtered air blowing over her bare skin and carrying her sweat away into a world of dark, clean vents, scoured bare by endless wind. If I'd need computers that are nothing but rust and rat nets, software that doesn't exist anymore, isolating embryos, testing chromosomes, and the baby. Am I going to do that to a kid? She closed her eyes, the room swaying around her like the hold of some dark ship. Still drunk, she thought, picturing again the pit and the thing and its dripping tongue wrapped around Sophie's Whittle's pale, clear skin. Where the fuck did I bring us? So, you were a manhunter? The woman in charge of worker placement, what the Bunkerites called pitching in, wasn't much older than Fran. In her cat's eye glasses and Penn State sweatshirt, the sleeves rolled up above her elbows, she looked like a tired post-grad catching up on work over the weekend. She smelled pleasantly, her odor filling the cramped closet of her office at the bunker's midmost level of sandalwood and something like vanilla. Harvesting and selling, said Fran, slitting ball sacks open with a penknife while flies swarmed over her bloody hands. Arguing with armed premenopausal butch dykes outside Pennacook over how much bear meat and block salt a Ziploc full of kidney lobes was worth. My friend Beth did all the actual hunting. The other woman made a note in her clipboard. And how well would you say you're known in the greater Boston area? Up through coastal Massachusetts and New Hampshire? Known, definitely known. We've been to Fort Fisher twice a year, 3 years running, into Boston, Worcester, Manchester, Nashua. We trade in bulk to Lakeisha Wallace's store. Penn State scribbled for a minute, squinting as she hunched over her board, then capped her pen with a decisive click. She pushed her glasses up onto her forehead. Fran's stomach clenched around a lump of quivering anxiety. She still felt a little queasy after last night's party, and the fluorescence flickering over the walk-up from her room had made her head swim. Maybe I'll get to help Indy in her lab. Pre-med isn't nothing. They won't make me dig ditches. Why would they even need ditches? As we ramp up estrogen refining, we're going to want to open a new line of trade with Seabrook. The other woman retrieved a thick ledger from a drawer in her desk and set it down in front of Fran, flipping it open. Page after page of minute handwriting filled the cells and columns within dates, goods, weights, names. They've got fish, waste removal and disposal, freshwater springs, some master craftsmen we haven't been able to poach. We've got the medication to keep their kids and PCOS patients from going feral. Unless they want to start a large-scale horse piss concentration facility, they've got to deal with us. So do you want me, out with the hunters? No, nothing like that. Penn State shook her head. She'd set her clipboard down. Fran could see the blank sex boxes on the intake form, twin islands all-encompassing in a sea of ephemera. How many times had she dithered in the blank quarter-inch between them? Sophie thinks you'd be a good fit to help with managing our relationships with the Seabrook City Council. Fran blinked, looking up from the sheet. The Legion? They aren't going to strip search our people. We've dealt with them before, and we don't allow it. With a smile, she checked the box next to the F on the form. Fran's heart leapt in joy and terror as she took it. Her token, her proof. All at once the bunker seemed to open up around her, its blank walls limitlessly clean, its every unmet inhabitant a new best friend, just waiting to be taken by the hand and led sprinting into fields of wildflowers and waving grass. I'm going to be a woman here. I'm going to be real. Penn State signed the form with a decisive flourish. Whatever they might suspect about you, a suspicion is all it's going to be. Yeah, that seems way too fucking hopeful for this book. Hey, well, that's where we're at. There's between this book and Umineko, I'm definitely gonna lose my mind soon. I know I keep saying it, but I just want people to be ready. I want everybody to be prepared. I don't want anybody to be like, what's going on? What's up with Trixie's content lately? It seems like she's losing her... I'm losing my mind. If I have to keep reading this book and Umineko and living at home, I'm rapidly going to lose my mind. So, I've got House of Leaves here, too. I read earlier today, I read some House of Leaves. And I just read a couple random segments of House of Leaves, and that already was enough to trigger half of my insanity, the frenzy meter from Bloodborne. My frenzy meter was going up so rapidly, I had to put the book down. I was glad they only paid for $1. Lucario, I don't necessarily think that you should try to make me not lose my mind. I have always wanted to lose my mind. It's like a personal dream of mine. I'm not good at it, though. I've done so many things to try to make myself lose my mind. There's a few things that I think that I thought would cause it at various points in my life. But it would be like someone would have to die, and I'm now too old for even that to work. Nobody could die and I'd go insane over it. It might have worked when I was 20. But now I'm I don't know. I don't know what would make me insane other than live streaming every day, reading Manhunt, reading Umineko, living at home, all at the same time. I don't think it'll take more than that. I don't need to add anything extra to the list. You don't even really need Manhunt on the list. Umineko might do it by itself. Live streaming every day, playing Umineko once a week, and living at home will rapidly make me insane. But it might be for the best. It might be what we all need. Last time I felt like I was going insane, I created Queermo, and nobody remembers Queermo, but I love him. So, Who knows what will spring out of my brain? I did 23 vocal tracks on a song yesterday. I'm losing it. All right. Well, until I get more requests, let's listen to some more of the songs here. What do we got? Let's listen to 100K again.
Here I find myself 100,000 times through realms of wonders parallel, compelled to spell 100,000 rhymes intertwined with entities everywhere and all in kind, weathering snare particulates that splinter off and through the air into the sky. Hi, my name is Beatrice and I am high. They call me Trixie Goldie Witch online and in line for the signing. Rhyming is a thing I do. I'm the YouTube streamer too, redeemer of the stolen youth, leading people like you into the booth. No voter headshot, no joker dead cops, no broker dread plots, no poker face. I'm another race, an alien displaced from somewhere else, another place so far away, but not Australian or Welsh. My brother Shane, that's his real name, knows how to game into Excel. He produced half of Gay and Dead, Sarah Louise did half as well. These and Piers get down in Paris to the base swell. It'll be a cold day in hell before I base 1200K, that's a baseline. Delve into my lore like it's Elden Ring. Pour into my brain with a drill bit ring. If you liked it, then you should have thought about it before he put a ring on it. No fling. Thinking you'll bingy bongy upon the beat. Do bongy wrist body, zip shotty, flip shotty, rich. Putting the stick back in the box. Toxic music, influence toxic. Britney Spears, queer, psychotic, fearless, psychic, powerless. Another chick's rack, giving hick rap, bringing hick back. Candy flip fresh, gish magician, no pumpkin smash. The bumpkin raps, the function slabs, the gumption tracks. Debunk the whack, the punk is back.
Oh shit. I would rap along, but the timing is always off. So I'll just go ham.
Popularly played in your room like PlayStation. Probably delayed in the gloom from creation. Properly portrayed by a gloom incarnation. Positively baked off the blooms in the basement. Popping open cases of moonshine, I drink it. Popping open flames under moonlight, I'm taking. Popping open flames, gonna shoot like an aces. Popping open rage, thunder groove on the bass rip. Asking mama if she fuck with me. Grab a partner when the Duchess. Take a puff, no dick. Ain't a rush, just trip. No rat, no mud, no drizzy, just missy in a blunt. Speak for a living, stunt for a hobby. Got some awesome memories in some hotel lobby. Got some awful memories in some hotel parking. Got a lot of memories, yeah, walking. Cocked a lot of petty beef, I still steal from Walmart. Dropped a lot of tracks for free, no appeal to watch out. Dropped a lot of racks on weed, really got for restart. Probably never had money, I really got for restart. Dropped a lot of racks on weed, really got for restart. Probably
I'm gonna go
never
grab
had
another
money,
beer.
I really went for retard. Had to redo that last bar. Hey. See, I'm the grown up version, so I'm allowed to say that. Like, I get to say faggot because I'm LGBT and but if you're not a retarded faggot, I really don't want to hear those words out of your mouth, alright? Those are our words, okay? Bye. Honey K, honey K. Honey K, honey K. Hey! Listen! Hey! Hey!
I'm back. I don't see no more requests, so we're gonna listen to more songs or the ones we already listened to again. Because frankly, I'm pretty fucking addicted to these songs. I'm in love with these songs.
Alternate probabilities existing in the same
I'm a homophone of a homicide of a homophobe. I promise I got a lock and load with a on a transphobe in the front of low black spread ahead like a centerfold. I'm horrifying to behold like a floating eye in a dungeon crawl. The beholder, older than my age, ever pressing eggs, ever shaking legs. If you let me to a beg, without much, I'm a cloud muncher, a bed puncher, a cop dodger, call father, a cat caller.
No, I'm gonna end up doing a high, like, you know those high quality shit posts that people do sometimes. In my wildest dreams, I see that thing, the train stroker.
Okay.
I'm so sorry, chat.
It's not Brian Stoker, it's Brian Stroker at this point. Oh man, that's a great one.
Trixie Clip says that this clip is even funnier than me being mad at Necromancer.
Super globally might be a bad take, but me personally,
Keep that open over there. All right, let's watch Pocketbook Head As's video about Sketch. Once again, I don't know what any of these names are. I don't think this is right, is it? Pocketbook Head As video about Sketch. Oh no, Head As is what you are calling the video by a guy called Pocketbook.
Jamie Moore and SFW.
Wow, this is
and
boring
Jamie's
so far.
Couture, and it was just awesome to put images together for.
It sounds like you just fucking woke
I'm
up.
positive.
Don't wake up in the morning, roll out of bed, and hit record and start reading your script into the microphone. You're gonna sound tired. You're gonna sound like you just woke up. Don't stay up all night and then record when you're all fucking tired and you're about to go to bed either. Record when you're bright and awake and your voice has a lot of color.
Prior.
Holy
This
fuck, this guy
content
is so
creation
boring.
under-
Don't take the melatonin gummies right before you record.
NJ according to Shoemaker et al. 1987.
What is this?
It is
Why are we?
newsworthy
Who
and
gives a
needs to be
shit?
shared
Why are you
with
telling us
the
this?
public.
Why you needed to justify why you were making a video by
For those of us
explaining
unfamiliar with
what
Kylie
is
Cox,
considered
he's native
news?
Houstonian and Texan.
Shut the
Once
fuck
upon a
up.
time, he's a member of the Kappa Sigma fraternity
I
at
don't
Mississippi State
care.
University and Lone Star College.
This is not how you tell a
before
story.
ultimately
I
deciding
don't even know who
academics were
this
not for
person
him.
is. Speed it up. Okay, even Lapusha wants
At
to
some
sped
point
up.
in
So,
2025,
oh my god,
on
it sounds like a
TikTok.
person talking now. What's the word you use for if you're making fun of someone for having a disability? Ableist. I apologize if this is that. If this person has a disability, they just can't talk any faster than that. I love the way you edit these,
so like
Trixie
Bryce
Clipsy.
Harper.
This
so
is like
this
the
is
exact
about-
right pacing that I need for my
finally,
brain to stay
through no
engaged.
effort of the video maker trying to tell a story, did I start to just now finally put together a semblance of who the fuck this person is. This is how I'm going to tell you right now. This is how I would have opened the video that we're watching right now. Mr. Beast just released his highest performing video of all time. I would have started off with that. Then I would have said, and in that video, there's this YouTube streamer named Sketch. Here he
Johan
is with
Rojas
Jack
and
Harlow.
Naylor.
They've made this video with the assumption that
I think
anybody
that's
clicking
Jack
on it
Harlow.
already knows who Sketch is or like whatever. And like you should never take that approach because that means your video has no growth potential outside of the market of people who've heard of Sketch, which in perpetuity is not going to be that many people if he's about to be canceled for whatever the fuck you're saying.
Prior to becoming
And not
Sketch,
like this, not their entire story, as in read their fucking Wikipedia article and talk about where they played fucking football. That's not a story. Like the Wikipedia is where you go to look up either what happened in the story or like what preceded the story, the context surrounding the story. It's not where you go to read the story.
in their real estate business from 2020.
I thought this was going to be a shitty reaction video, but it turns out I'm actually heated. So I guess this is a good one. This video sucks.
For those
Also,
of
I'm so sick of the fucking boring, lo-fi, generic YouTuber analysis video music. It's fucking Drake asleep on a plane ass fucking music.
you with the warning that there would
God, this is so boring.
Drake asleep
It's so
on a
hard to pay
plane
attention
ass
to. Like, it's
music.
hard for me to make my brain cling to his words because I'm like, why? You haven't started telling me a story yet, and I have no emotional investment. I still don't know what this kid's about, who he is. What's his deal? We're 4 fucking minutes into the video. I don't even know what the premise of his streaming persona is. All right, we're still watching this.
is where Kylie Cox, aka Sketch.
So is the
resides
point of
at
this
as
that
well.
Sketch is like
When you follow that
cross-dressing
name
and
to
doing
Reddit,
an
you get more
OnlyFans as a
confirmation that this person
cross-dresser? Is this meant to be an
fortunately
own?
tends
It
to
does
accept
just seem
this from
homophobic
him.
at this point.
Still,
Yeah,
things
it's like
remain. things like
Do you
the
know
video in 2022
this guy
from
does
Big DJ
gay
features Jamie
porn?
Martin, XXX.
Okay,
And looking at the screenshot here, we can see
cool.
this
I'm a
person
lot more
very
interested in
closely
this
resembles
person
Kylie
now.
Cox,
Yeah, that's
referencing
hot.
too explicit
I
to
didn't
share here on
expect this
YouTube,
to be a
so
video
can't
that
go
was
through
supposed
it.
to be making
However, I
me
do
a
suggest
fan
you
of
do the
Sketch,
research
but
yourself,
that's where we're
and a quick
going.
search
That's
will
where
pull
this
up
is
exactly
headed.
what you're looking for.
Yeah, it's the
Again,
guy. It's
most of
him.
it's cut out of
He's
this picture, but we
doing
can
gay
see
porn.
the bottom
What
is
is
rectangular frames
the?
that are blue, and the arms being a distinctive
Can we
brown,
get?
perhaps a black color.
You
and
don't need to
cross-reference
sell
with
me,
other
dude.
pictures
You
of
studied
Sketch
the
of
gay
the exact
porn
same
really
glasses.
hard. We
Now,
understand.
yes, people
You
often
didn't
have the
have
same
to
glasses
look
or
at
they
it
use
this
the same,
closely. You didn't
aura
have
of
to
glasses,
read.
but
You did not have to sit there and come up with every single way that this image is definitely the same guy. That would have required you to look at this for tens of minutes, maybe hours, however long you've spent thinking about this dude's fucking porn. You are way more invested than even the people masturbating to it. I can nut in probably less than a minute to some sexy ass shit like this. You have spent way too long indulgently staring at this man's gay porn to be complaining about it to the internet.
the very unique look
Yeah,
of
he's
Sketch
cute. We get
in
it.
the hometown of Sketch and the hometown of Jamie Marr.
Bruh,
It's
suck
hard
his
to
dick
chalk it up
harder.
as
Holy
coincidence
fucking
only.
shit.
Frame glasses.
Man, you
and
really had to show
hairstyle
us
is also
every
very
single
similar to
piece of
Sketch,
porn this
aka
person's
Kylie
made.
Cox.
Can we talk about how talented with the makeup and the hair, by the way? There's always really interesting like body framing with the fishnets and stuff. The camera angles are always very flattering. The motherfucker know what he's doing.
Blue rectangle
Might not even
glasses,
be makeup. A
the
lot of
black
this
line
could be
frame
like
glasses,
overlays and shit.
paired with the location
Definitely very
matchmaking.
photoshopped.
This is really all that I can share on YouTube without getting entirely too graphic. And again, just
I like
getting ready to
okay.
take it down.
So all the imagery you're not allowed to show, you blocked it out fully, but you didn't censor faggot. Interracial is not a swear. What the fuck? What the breeding, cum shot, blowjob, anal, facial, and bareback. Striking through it in a way that still allows me to read it does not remove it from the YouTube video. Interracial is not a swear word. So wait, twink is okay, but interracial
This
is not
is really
okay.
fucking funny.
Submissive
I gotta
is
re-upload
okay,
this
but
to Twitter.
breeding is not okay. Faggot's the only one that I could see actually thinking, YouTube's gonna get me in trouble if I say this word. I better block it. But you don't block it in a way where you can still read it. This is fucking hilarious.
Ex workers are always directly linked.
Did he bleep out the S sound in him saying sex workers? Who is this for?
OF and Linktree, is that what really has gotten us here? Is it Instagram's fault?
Linktree. I know a lot of people who have OnlyFans.
All right, let's watch-
Have a Linktree. Like equating the rise of the website that lets you collect links to the rise of like everyone has a Linktree. Anybody could have a for any purpose. I've seen Linktrees for literally any type of career that exists. Everyone should have a Linktree. It's just a quick, easy way to organize all the links to everything you have. I need to go back a second so we can hear that list again.
Always transition back and forth so easily. Is this just a 21st century thing? Is this the rise of TikTok and OF and Linktree? Is that
TikTok and OF and Linktree. I don't think he knows what a Linktree is. This video really has 800,000 views. Oh my god. Comments are turned off. Yeah, I fucking bet. It's only got 8.8 thousand likes. I think this video has probably been pretty raked. When a channel has 11,000 subscribers, has an 800,000 view video with comments off and only 8,000 likes, I'm thinking this didn't go over well. It's definitely just that he is a porn addict. He associates Linktree with pornography because he follows nothing but porn. You know me, I have a Linktree. I have a Linktree right there in the description. I don't do porn. Get off the internet and see a therapist. Just fucking talk to a professional. There are people whose whole job is to help you through these types of thoughts.
because Plato thought that this was deceitful? This was a person pretending to be someone else, and that was morally wrong.
I'll bet you have
Because of
20
that,
links.
I don't
Evan.
know enough Greek history to know how fucked what he's just saying is, but it sounds insane. Plato hated acting because people were pretending to not be themselves. Actors were slaves. I've never heard any of this shit.
That was disapproved.
It is always
especially
rum
because
with
they
these
knew
dudes.
Humbly clear
Watching
video
this
about
for
scat
money
back and
counts
forth
as
so
sex
easily.
work. If
Oh,
we're gonna
fuck
use
you.
rock
It
and
will
roll
reach this-
metaphors, we're all sluts who work in the entertainment entertainment industry. Hello, everybody. I'm back. Stream went down because of a sudden power outage,
Oh,
and
yeah.
we were not done with this video. This is one of those times I forgot that without this clip, this would literally be 2 different live streams worth of a video. The second half of which is currently still times where Trixie Clipsy's
Not fully
really
up.
going to come in handy, putting
Let
the
me
2
go
halves
work
of this
on getting
together
that
into one
back.
video. Because I was reacting the hell out of this video. I've been reacting to this video for like half an hour or something, more than that. It was like 40 minutes of reacting to this video on that last stream, and we're only 10 minutes into it. I know I took some diversions, but I hadn't realized how off I was truly going on this. It's got to continue. Let's finish this fucking terrible video.
where they're not slaves.
I need to emphasize to people who are watching this as a clip that's been edited together later that I spent about 45 minutes dealing with a power outage just now. So going back to this video, having forgotten where it was at when I paused it, I forgot. I mean, I've told Bird about this in between, about this video about Sketch. Bird had heard of Sketch. He knew the meme, the sup dog or whatever the thing he says is. And he also knew about this controversy that he had been caught doing gay porn and people were upset about it. It seemed like that's as far as he knows the story either. That seems to be all this video is saying, right? Is this guy does gay porn and that's not good, I think. I hasn't really even made a stance on it. It's just kind of talking about the fact that he's done it, and now it's in the history of actors and sex work section of the video where we're talking about like Greek and Chinese slaves. So when I hit unpause, and that's the first thing I heard was when we go to the 13th century China, they weren't slaves, and I'm just like, what the fuck is this video? What the fuck is this video? This was a video about a guy about an internet streamer doing gay porn, and somehow it's gotten onto the subject of 13th century Chinese sex work. Why is it like this? Oh, I'm glad it pulled me right back in. Less than a sentence it took to pull me right back into remembering how fucking weird and awful this video is.
A genuine service that could be
What?
appreciated by everyone.
What do you mean?
So, them acting town to town was also them selling themselves town to town, because
yeah.
after they got off stage, they interacted with
What? How is that different from the... They didn't have the means to get more popular, so it was just them making money off of whoever was in front of them instead of... Like, this isn't something that needs to be explained.
they could do the same thing.
Why is this
there
in this video?
next-
What are you
over time,
fucking
it does
talking
shift a
about?
little bit.
Also, is he like playing one of Sketch's like videos in the background and it's just been blurred and like it would be visible? Because it feels like I'm looking at literally nothing. I am looking at a blurry nothing. I can't tell what's supposed to be happening in this clip. It's just nothing. So I'm looking at nothing. He's telling me a bunch of nonsensical, disconnected little tidbits of random world history dating back forever. This is the most fucking inane video I have maybe ever seen.
Truly high class people patronage.
Hearing him say X work makes me want to fucking punch a baby in the face. Amy, working at X? No, thank you.
You scratch my back, I'll scratch your back.
I bet he wants to scratch Sketch's back, if you know what I'm saying. This
I
motherfucker felt
forgot
that he
talked
needed
about
to
punching a
explain
baby.
that sex work has existed before Sketch started doing it. That was the thesis of this segment. How many minutes was this? 5 minutes explaining the history of sex work so that we would understand that Sketch did not invent sex work. That was the thesis of this segment. Bruh.
Under the censorship of
Sarah, are you
YouTube
asking me to send this video to
censorship is
you?
way more
This
intense than it
information I've shared
is.
today.
Like this
Yeah,
clip?
YouTube censorship is really brutal if you are trying to get full advertising dollars on your, like, you know, not trying to have limited ads. It just makes you a big pussy. It means money is more important to you than integrity or sending a message or actually saying what you're trying to say. So fuck you.
it will reach the same 300 people that it always does.
Well, my video will probably just reach the same 300 people that it always does. I almost feel sorry for him now. If you were only expecting 300 people to see your video and 800,000 people saw it, and it's this bad of a video, ooh, I'm sure I'm not the first video taking this video apart. I hope I'm the best one, though. I hope if this guy only sees one video about why his video sucks, I hope it's mine. Because you can come to the light. Join my LGBT trans furry cult, and you'll be okay. Definitely a home for you if you're a schizophrenic, autistic, gay furry in my community. I promise. I'm collecting all of them.
being LGBTQ plus.
We have
is not
furries and
a
Umineko
career
fans and
that it
furry
used to be, so I
Umineko
feel a little
fans.
bit-
Orlun, I'm not surprised that this video had its intended effect. Most people are stupid. The dumber something is, the better it'll work.
do think that it is very important for online personalities to share things.
So did this guy like break this news or what? Like, did people not know about this? Why did this video that sucks so badly get so many views talking about this? Like, why? How was this the first one? Is it just writing off the back of other videos that are more successful about it? He really broke this. How the fuck did this guy find out about this before anybody else? Just because he
That they
was
did online
really into
studies?
the porn? It really must be that he was just really, really, really into the porn, right? Did he do this for clout? Did he do this for money? Did he just do it autistically thinking it would be that it was necessary because it's considered newsworthy by the definition of newsworthy? Like, why? What was the fucking motive here? Hey guys, I noticed that this porn I like is sketch.
Gets researched.
Someone on
and we
Insta
got to talk
commented
about
it as a suggestion. Oh my god. Well, so then, well, how did they know that he knew? Had he like said it somewhere? Like he just hinted that he knew this, and so, or people told him about it. Like, how did he know?
your new visual identity in this age of entertainment and
The fuck are you
online
talking
service.
about? Why are you trying to add so much depth to this? Like, this is what the word pretentious actually means. Like, stuff that's just artsy or unique or like different gets called pretentious all the times by people like who don't understand it. But what pretentious actually is when you say a whole bunch of nothing and then you say, I hope I've just given you the tools to really think about how to put yourself into perspective in the modern day. Bruh, you didn't do any of that. You did nothing. Actually, you did less than nothing. This video made the world worse. It made people worse. It made collective thought worse. Like, the best that could possibly come of this video is people see my reaction to it and realize that this kind of thing needs to stop and that this can't be seen as cool. That this sucks.
Anyone he worked with, anyone
Pocketbook, your content fucking sucks. Sorry, your content fucking sucks. That really sucked. It was very bad.
What's my worst trait? What's my worst trait? You
Oh, I
said
love
it's the way
that.
You ask these questions that I can't relate to now. Play me something I can skate to, smoke an eighth to, pass around the room and drink a late to, something I can bump to while I break you in. You see me grin? God damn it, boy, I'll never win. Yo, I'm down for gin and juice tonight. I'll let you
Bust up in my
caboose
caboose tonight.
Pass out late, wake up late, and drive up a mountainside for some peace and quiet. What's my worst?
That was excellent. Thank you. Thank you for that one. I hope that gets 1 billion views. A literal billion. Billion. I hope it gets a Billy like it's Eilish. I hope it gets a Billy like the fridge. Anybody got any requests? Anybody got anything they want to super chat me to talk about or read? I'm desperate. I need the money. Look at this. Look at how much less money I made this month. Check this out. Estimated revenue. No, go to the. I want July. There we go. This month so far, I've only made $567. This isn't including like yesterday. This also isn't including like probably $300 that I've received through Venmo and Cash App instead of through YouTube. So it's a little deceitful, but you know, we can make all of those numbers go up, all of them at once. See what's happening on this lackadaisy
Next,
sketch
and it
stream.
breaks down some of the fat because of the vinegar, but also you have to remember
Oh, they're talking about cooking. What are they drawing? Oh, it's like a group draw. They're all drawing at the same time. Neat. No, I can't watch that. It's not exciting. I'm happy for them getting 1 million subscribers. Nothing new has come out. Let's listen to Cockslop again.
Eat metal shit, blood that quick like a soldier sucking on a big fat dick in a foxhole cop hole right with the bombs drop. Whiskey tango, foxtrot, cockslop. JC, yeah, let's go. Sit down. See, what I'm sick of is the pussy, particular, pretentious, entitled, demanding that's never reconciled. Expanding the reticular, the picture's pretty wild. Perspective perpendicular, vindictive, vicious, foul. I'm wild across America, I don't care who was in France. I gambled once in Canada, but wasn't much a fan. Spent one day in Atlanta, but I don't speak Korean. Legalize weed and you'll find me in Philippines, Japan, and Brazil. Let's chill. Don't hold your inner daughter's body underwater, let her breathe. Clean your teeth, definitely don't be like me. Do better, rate green, eat cheddar, don't spend, just weather this era. Expand after winter's end. No more play pretend time. End zone rhymes, this is scored again time. Yeah. No more play pretend time. End zone rhymes, this is scored again time. Yeah. Defibrillate the party. I just inhaled some distillate and sipped on some Bacardi. The arty party, smarty tardy. So when I say pistol it and pointed at the hardy, puts the hardy meat inside of me. He cooks, you see. My hits are on the books. My fits get hella looks. My fella's not a crook, but knows I'm bitchy, crooked and twisty like a brook. Still shook and still shaky. What I take and what I'm making is a book about the baby that grew into me. When you get into me, I get into you. It's what a hook do. You should get the lyric book a look through. If you feel it, you should sing along. Make what I say true. Either way, I'll speak it every day and spin the thank yous and acclaim again. No more play pretend time. End zone rhymes. This is scored again time. Yeah. No more play pretend time. End zone rhymes. This is scored again time. Yeah. KRS-One can come and slap me if he want, but it would probably turn me on, so probably gonna wanna stick to guns. For anyone that think I make a target in my target shorts and hand-me-downs, I'm chilling just around Northside, Norfolk, Virginia, smoking a dirt weed blunt in my mama garage. It's too late to attempt to maintain a barrage. Had a chance to be boss, traded it for Corsage and a need of a bra. Now I'm a broke bitch. Oops. That's the whole sitch. Now you know this. Trixie Goldie Witch. That's me. Trixie Goldie Witch. You know, it is what it is.
This whole album competes for my favorite song I've ever made, I have to say. Every time I listen to one of the songs, I'm like, this might be my best song. Gary Always, this album is going to be called Ridiculously Adequate. Actually, it says Adept here, which is wrong. I haven't updated that. Adequate was a funnier word. Ridiculously Adequate Performance is the name of this album. You see, I'm doing a thing where I'm making rap albums. The last one was Rogue Alien Pet. This one's Ridiculously Adequate Performance. Why am I getting a YouTube Studio notification? Copyright issues found in powering up the power block. I thought we were just dealing with copyright issues in that. I guess that's its way of telling me that it finished processing that edit I just made, maybe. Or maybe it found another reason to block that video worldwide. Let's go find out. Let's go find out what's going on with this fucking video. How many edits will have to be made still? There's still 3 reasons it's blocked. Pretty much every single sketch from that British comedy show and every single Denzel Curry section of a song that I played. All of those independently got blocked. So I've had to trim them one by one over the course of the day. Okay. So yeah, Ridiculously Adequate Performance here. I've got 4 finished songs, completely finished, and 5 some close to finished songs, a couple of which I don't want to play either because their producers are not here to give permission for me to play an unmixed version of the song, or because it's just not close enough to done for me to want you to hear it. Because Under My Collar needs to be mixed by Dima Fox Pause, but it may, I mean, when I listen to 100K, I'm like, this is my best song ever. And then when I listen to Cockslop, I'm like, this is my best song ever. When I listen to Under My Collar, I'm like, this could also be my best song ever. When I was making By Daybreak, I spent the whole time going, this is my best song ever. So I'm just saying, this is going to be my best album ever. I involved all of the producers I like. The last Rogue Alien Pet was all me. I made all the beats. I did the whole project by myself. And it's the best project I've done entirely by myself. But that doesn't necessarily make it my best project. You know, you got Gay and Dead to measure against. You've got fucking every album anyone's ever liked from me that other people produced instead of me, which are all the ones that people like. So I think, you know, the fact that I can get all of the good producers all onto one album. We've got, I mean, 100K from some Sarah Louise, aka Blind Skywatcher. I think that's the name that you want on the project, right? If I'm not mistaken. And then By Daybreak from Cement City, who I'd never worked with before, but answered my call for beats. Cockslop from Bad Eater. I've got another Bad Eater song, another Bad Eater beat, rather, a song called Haram. I just sent it to Nino to get a verse from Nino on it. So there should be a Nino verse on the finished version of Haram. And then we've got The Beholder, which is from Bag Odix or Bag of Odix. Bag of Dicks, you know, but it's written as Bag Odix. Who sent me a whole pack of beats. This was my favorite of the beats. I might end up using another Bag Odix beat, but I'm undecided. And then I've got another Sarah Louise beat in the works. I've got, which is Frolic, which I played earlier. And then I've got another Sarah Louise beat on top of that, that I haven't played yet. And then I've got the one with Dima Fox Pause. And then I've got my own self-produced one, Booster Gold, that we just listened to earlier that I'm still working on. Oh yeah, I got Shade to send me a beat too, and I haven't done anything with that yet. I got to track down, I can't do that on stream because it's through Facebook, but I got Shade to send me a beat. So I'll have Shade, who, you know, was the first producer I worked with other than myself. So yeah, I'm bringing everybody together. I got to get anybody I haven't gotten yet, I'm going to get. I got to get Zen Huxtable. I haven't gotten a beat from Zen Huxtable yet. Flip Down Yonder, I'll get a hold of him. I don't think he's on Twitter, but I can reach him through Patreon. And then, yeah, I just want all the producers, all the really sick producers. I'd like to get Ethernet on here. I don't think I talked to them yet. Right, let's listen to The Beholder again. Oh, wait, Cosmic Blue just gave me a $15 super chat. Minecraft Sandboxes and Colonialism from Folding Ideas. All right. I sub Folding Ideas. I've seen his videos. I don't know if I've seen this one. So we'll find out. I hear nothing.
Hey everybody, let me tell you a story. So I recently got back into Minecraft after a couple years away. I've got a little private friends and family server set up. I've built some nice things, done a lot of exploring, having a lot of fun, and then one evening a friend says, "Hey, let's go tame some cats." Now, I'm of course completely on board with this plan. Pet cats? Sign me up. So in the current version of Minecraft, this entails finding a village because the mechanical spawn trigger for feral cats is
Where my mind is at is thinking, surely someone has made a meme where it's Mein Kampf, but it says Minecraft on it. I don't know how it's taken me 20 years to come up with that joke.
related to the number of villagers in an area. So you find a village, then hang out until you hear a feral cat, then you give the cat some fish until it adopts you, and now you've got a pet cat. The problem is that just with how our world spawned and the way we all chose to disperse around the area before this point, the closest villages are kind of far away and aren't connected to any of the rivers that we're using as our main transport. So we make this trip a few times, and it's always kind of a hassle, but hanging out around the village exposes me to a bunch of the other things you can do with villagers that the game has.
A ghost interrupted me? Hold on, let me figure out what's going on in my microphone. What are y'all hearing?
That the game has.
A ghost interrupted me? Hold on, let me figure out what's going on in my microphone. What are y'all hearing? Sounds perfect. I don't know what happened.
Added over the years. See, the last time I played, you could basically only use extremely rare emeralds to trade for random stuff in a barter system with absolutely no concept of value. Like, you'd have to dig up these emeralds that could only be found in one specific type of place in the world, the large hills biome, and then some villager would offer you, like, a pair of leather pants for 3 emeralds, and you're just like,
Sarah, what was that file
thanks.
called of that beat?
There's 3 cows.
Because I was trying to
full of
find that, and I
leather
couldn't
right
remember
over
what the hell it
here,
was
but
called.
wow, great deal. Really? It's not really a great deal, that's what we call sarcasm. These days, it's a little more coherent and engaging. Like, you go to one villager and you can sell them a bunch of wheat for emeralds. Then you can take those emeralds to another villager and buy a cursed book or something. Or just hoard emeralds, pack them into a block and build a solid emerald bathtub. I'm not your dad. Anyway, this seems like it could be a lot of fun. There's still just that one problem that the closest villages are kind of far away and in the wrong direction from everything else we're building. And wouldn't it be so much easier for everyone to play with these mechanics if we had a village like right here in this giant empty field located conveniently between a farm, a dark forest, and a 2-scale recreation of Notre Dame carved out of a mountain? Yes, it absolutely would be. So, you know what? Set to work building a small village with nice little houses using the wood and materials that are nearby, build a fountain, seed some farms, get it all decorated, place a bunch of job sites so the villagers have something to do, and now what? The game designers have their own vision of how this is supposed to work. They don't really want you to just set up a village of your own convenience, so just building a village isn't enough.
I think the
What they
crackling
want
was
is for
my
the
fault. I
player
think
to
I was
find
hitting
an
the
existing
cord or
village and
something.
adopt and expand it.
I think
to
my
build
shaking
up
my leg was
something
shaking
that's
the
already
microphone.
there, and they've constructed mechanics in a way to encourage this approach and discourage anything else by making it really inconvenient. You can't just lure villagers with food or set up a village and expect them to just pop into existence. If you want to create a new village without using console commands to just create villagers, then you really only have 2 options.
If it just
The
crackled now,
first
it's
is to
because I
cut
was
down
doing the
trees
same
until you have
thing
an
to
apple, mine
demonstrate.
8 blocks of gold, smelt the gold into ingots, combine the ingots and apple into a golden apple, build a portal to hell using obsidian, explore hell until you find a nether fortress, search the nether fortress until you encounter several flying enemies called Blaze, kill them until you have at least 2 blaze rods, use 1 blaze rod to make a brewing stand and the other to fuel the brewing stand, use a bottle of water plus a fermented spider's eye, which is made using a mushroom sugar and regular spider's eye to create a potion of weakness, then add gunpowder to make a splash potion of weakness, hang around your new village waiting for a rare zombie villager to spawn, entomb them in blocks, throw the splash potion of weakness on them, feed them the golden apple, and then leave them entombed for another 5 minutes real time so they don't burn up in the sunlight at dawn, and then, finally, the villager will be cured of undeath. And you'll need to do this twice because 1 villager does not a village make. Alternately, you're going to need to acquire villagers from existing villages. And right here is probably where you pause for a second, squint your eyes, and go, Not so sure about that phrasing there. Not hype on where this is going. So at this point, I go through the time-consuming process of expanding an existing river to make it ready for boat traffic, because you see, villagers can't just be lured away, but if they get into a vehicle, like a boat or a minecart, they can't get out on their own. It's just a matter of getting a villager near enough to the water that you can push them into a boat, or maybe you first need to set up an elaborate trap with a minecart that will first take them down to the river so that you can then push them into a boat, sail that boat halfway around the world, and then push them out into their new home. And again, of course, you're going to need to do this a few times because a lone villager can't have kids, and it may take a village to raise a child, but it also takes a bunch of children to make a village. And so, yes, the best, most straightforward way to create a new village in Minecraft is to kidnap villagers from an existing village. Now, this is a good point to say that I don't believe this is intentional, that this is more of a weird emergent outcome of systems interacting. I mean, I really hope that the people working on Minecraft, both on the Mojang and Microsoft sides of things, didn't look at the game and go, yeah, human trafficking? Pushing people into a boat and spiriting them away? I love it. That would definitely be a yikes.
So my opinion on this video so far, you could definitely observe Wadsworth's constant on this video. This could have started like
and again, of course, you're going to need to do this a few times because
starting with the word A, this is where the video could have began.
A lone villager can't have kids, and it may take a village to raise a child, but it also takes a bunch of children to make a village. And so, yes, the best, most straightforward way.
None of the information that preceded this meant anything to me. Like, I just was like, where are you going with this? Who gives a shit? Like, why are you explaining this to me? This is either stuff that the people you're explaining it to already knows, or like me, it means nothing to me. Bird just beat Lies of P. I'm sending him congratulations. Yeah, like I don't. It's cackling again. Okay, I really got to not touch this fucking thing. I got to get it further from me or something. I'm going to go dark for a second. All right. I'm going to not touch it. So, yeah, like he was given all that information about like it just seemed really banal. Like what he was describing, I didn't understand how it was building to any kind of point, where he was going by describing all of that. And I feel like if I knew the game mechanics on the level that he does, maybe I would be thinking, oh, I see where you're going with this. But I didn't. I had no idea where he was going with it. And then it was like when he said this part right here, I was like, oh, this is what you're saying. All of that other shit meant nothing.
Way to create a new village in Minecraft is to kidnap villagers from an existing village. Now, this is a good point to say that I don't believe this is intentional, that this is more of a weird emergent outcome of systems interacting. I mean, I really hope that the people working on Minecraft, both on the Mojang and Microsoft sides of things, didn't look at the game and go, yeah, human trafficking? Pushing people into a boat and spiriting them away? I love it. That would definitely be a yikes. But it's a particularly interesting case study in the way that game systems create metaphor, and that even if you didn't intend for your mechanics to incentivize kidnapping, you still sort of created a game where the player is kind of encouraged to do a kidnap.
Yeah, Sarah's saying I'm an avid Minecraft player, and I got where he was going from the outset because I had basically the same exact thought. I figured that would probably be the case because it had that feeling of like, this is supposed to make me feel like he's getting at something, but I didn't know what it was because I'm like, well, I don't know. It just sounds like you're using the weird game. The game mechanics are weird. I get it. Minecraft is a weird game with weird mechanics. Like, why does it matter that they're weird? I didn't understand that until he just like said it, and I'm like, okay, this is where I would have started with this. It's like, hey, did you know that at the very least I would have said, like, did you know that it's incredibly complicated to start a village in Minecraft? Like, I don't know.
Napping. Or 2 or 3. And it should be noted that this interaction doesn't just mimic kidnapping, but more specifically the brutal relocation policies of colonialism. Shove some people in a boat, translocate them off somewhere else, push them out and say, okay, this is your home now. And the whole uncomfortable metaphor is exacerbated by some of the smaller details. Villagers all have a regional look, so even though they are mechanically identical, there's definitely a sense of villagers taken elsewhere being out of place. Villagers and the player character are both humanoid but distinct from one another. They are different groups. The villagers have large noses and talk in a nonsense Simlish. Across multiple vectors, the group with agency, players, are delineated from the group without. None of these individual details are per se bad, but they do collectively build a scenario where the player can easily otherize human NPCs. This gets pretty dark when players are indirectly incentivized to abduct them or even industrialize them like chattel, such as this contraption that exploits villagers summoning guardian iron golems as an infinite automated source of iron for making tools. As much as I love building and constructing games, these kinds of issues, these metaphors, hang over the head of the genre, whether they're created from mechanics or from the intrinsic framing of the game's scenario. In the 2019 essay collection, Video Games and the Global South, Jules Scotness-Brown observes, in an era when physical space has been thoroughly explored, virtual spaces harken back to the romance of the colonial frontier as new regions to discover and conquer. Such conquest is not just psychosymbolic, but also sensitive to the legacies of colonialism and underdevelopment. Since most mainstream video games are produced and disseminated in the developed world, they are spaces in which primarily ex-colonial nations can continue to conquer the other, even in post-colonial periods. In sandbox building games such as Minecraft, the player arrives like Robinson Crusoe into a terra nullius and encourages him to
I wish I was watching Errant Signal right now. That guy's voice is so much more good.
to improve this land by clearing jungles, draining marshes, building infrastructure, and mining minerals. Its inhabitants, hostile monsters or local villagers, appear simply as obstacles in the path of development or as resources to exploit. And he's not wrong. I mean, yeah, a lot of those underlying reasons are why I enjoy construction games, particularly Minecraft. I like exploring. I like building things. I like terraforming. I enjoy bridges and towers and villages and boats and trains.
I like
and
trains.
That's not to say that those interests are illegitimate, but it does speak to deeper cultural values that I have inherited. I like terraforming and building big things in part because I was raised in a culture that values terraforming and building big things. A culture that looks at the New York skyline, the Hoover Dam, and
the worst place
Trans-Canada
ever,
Highway, and sees first and foremost progress.
That's not what I see. I understand that he's saying that is like what our culture sees, I guess. Probably true. I don't know. I look at New York City and I go, like an immeasurable, endless spiritual death vomiting out of me forever. California Highway's cool though.
Yes. A culture that sees these things as good. My interests and values are authentic, but they didn't form in a vacuum. And this is a value set that informs the entire genre. Minecraft, Factorio, Satisfactory, Stonehearth, Dwarf Fortress, Towns, Timber and Stone, No Man's Sky, No Moria, even the relatively
it's
constrained Stardew Valley is enamored with the romance of taming the wilderness.
Cat, where did you come from?
It is certainly interesting that in a genre crowded with options, there are multiple games where the player builds vast labyrinthian factories to extract resources on an alien planet, and not one where the player reclaims a planet from the extractors, carefully balancing wetlands and ecosystems. I mean, is the food chain of a marsh any less complex than assembling red chips in Factorio? Now, this is not me saying that all these games form a deliberate block of pro-colonial propaganda. In fact, all of them to some degree or another are aware of that legacy and try to steer gently away from the issue by fabricating scenarios where the behavior is in some way or another justified or permissible. All of them have a reason for doing what you're doing. The protagonist in Factorio, for example, isn't a colonist but is stranded on an alien planet by accident and given the implicit goal of leaving. In No Man's Sky, the protagonist is adrift in a universe.
Does that make them not a colonist? Like if you're not where you're from and you are surviving there, you are effectively colonizing that place, right? Wouldn't you think? I don't know. I guess it only counts as a colony if it's if it belongs to someone, but like if you're a citizen of another place and you remain a citizen of that place while you're in the new place building your own thing, I mean, that citizenship might not mean much, but it also didn't back then. We had a whole war about how little it meant. So I don't know. I don't know if I would call that not colonizing.
Universe where no one belongs, a space too vast for any one person to make a meaningful impact, a place devoid of villagers to displace. Again, they all have reasons for doing what you're doing, but these are just explanations, not excuses. In many ways, these works of fiction are indulging in a, air quote, clean version of history. What if America, but no Native Americans? Also, dear Factorio developers, I love you.
This is a very US-centric perspective on this. Like, I get that he's saying that he reads it this way because he's from the US, but now he's almost making it sound like the games are having this mentality. And it's like, well, I don't know, are these all American games even? Like, you could at least clarify where all the games are from if you're going to make a statement like that, this, like, or who made them specifically, or I don't know, maybe interview them about their statements on it. It just feels very, Minecraft is not American, like Sarah said. So I don't know. This is odd. This is an odd way to go about making this point.
Your game, but this wording here, woof. This sense of insignificance is a through line we can see in a lot of these, even to a degree Minecraft. The relative powerlessness of the individual in the scope of the systems they are interacting with. As with No Man's Sky, Minecraft's world is unfathomably vast, about 900 million square kilometers. It is impossible for an individual to truly alter the nature of the world. But even that narrative isn't new. Prairie Fires by Carolyn Fraser outlines how tales of rugged individualism were used to downplay, excuse, and dismiss the institutionalized displacement and massacre of Indigenous Americans. How, in books like Little House on the Prairie, authors like Laura Ingalls Wilder took colonization and turned it into 1,000 tiny, quaint stories. Not the product of policy, culture, and values, but the lamentable byproduct of 1,000 individuals.
How are you going to tie this back into Minecraft?
World. So the question then is, how do we navigate this? It is perhaps tempting to fall into.
That's not the question I had after
just
that.
Throw the whole lot.
The question I had after that was, how do you tie that back into Minecraft? who is telling the little stories to, like, is him telling himself as he plays his video game, it's fine, it's just a video game, there's nothing amoral about me bringing these digital villagers from my village. Is that him telling himself the little stories, like what people told themselves to allow themselves to displace indigenous people? Like, that's just this is a weird one.
Out, but that is, in my estimation at least, immature. It is possible to interrogate our collective past, the world that we have inherited, and determine that bridges and boats and trains are okay and good, that building things and even altering the environment are things that are or can be good, that it is possible to explore in a way that is better than our own.
Good from whose perspective? Like, making things better for humanity doesn't mean making them better for the whole world or making them better for all creatures, you know, like making things better also doesn't make them not colonizing. It sounds like he's making the same excuses that colonizers make to justify colonizing. Like, I don't. But sometimes you make it better. By whose fucking metric, though? Who says a train existing is better than a train not existing? Other than, you know, people who really like trains, I guess. Like, we have enjoyed the benefits of this thing, but a lot of people died who never got to enjoy this in the process of making it happen. And there's plenty of people who don't get to enjoy the fruits of it existing, and plenty of people who are still being ground up by the existence of these things. Like, that's what makes it bad, right? Like, I don't know. This video feels like it's touching on really deep issues in such a shallow way that it makes me feel like it doesn't understand the deep issues. Or I'm like, there's so much more you need to say before you can just like leave these topics behind and move into the next thing, you know?
Own history, that all these things are themselves value neutral, and it is up to us to engage them morally. This is also where there is a great value in ensuring that voices from different backgrounds, different cultures are given space to create, to maybe argue against permanence, to argue the viewpoints of the colonized. Is it possible to tell these kinds of stories of exploring the unknown without creating a fantasized, idealized version of our own colonialist past?
Surely there are.
I don't know. I don't have an answer for that.
Did you look for one?
And at the very least, maybe we won't end up with games where you push villagers into boats.
Did you ask around if anybody knew one? That was weird. That was a weird one. If you don't have an answer, what's the point of the video? Yeah, I mean, so the message of this was that video games accidentally are an escapist form of reliving colonialism. Okay. I'm trying to figure out the comfortable approach I can take to talking about this. I'm very sympathetic to history, even to people who like were awful historically, because history itself was awful. It's just unremittingly terrible to exist at any time, but especially at older times. You know, when I consider everything they didn't have that I consider like necessary as a baseline for me to like feel functional, I'm like, I simply wouldn't have lived. I would not have survived. I would be dead if I was born in a time before 1991. I'm a part of a soft world, a product of a very soft world. When I think about like the American colonists, for instance, right? There were some like powerful, rich people who came to America early on, but like most of it was like poor people who were being religiously prosecuted and like looking for a place where that wouldn't happen. Then they showed up at another place and went to war with the people there. Bad move. You know, they should have kept moving, kept going along, but they went, oh, we could take these guys and we really want this spot because we really fucking don't want to go back to England, which is full from their perspective. And we really don't want to, you know, go somewhere shittier. So we're stopping here. And the natives don't want us here. So I guess we're going to kill them. None of that's good. But it's also like these people were on such a low level of communication and thinking and culture. And most of them died, like young as shit. With the first American colonists, literally the first winter, like fucking 4/5 of them all died, you know? So like, again, historically, no one knew what they were doing. Everyone was dying awfully. And they were all trying to do something that they considered noble. You know, they're all just vying for a better life for themselves and their family. But, like, the Industrial Revolution is, to me, really where things go. Like, colonization is evil. But industrial colonization is like a whole different level of like, that's where the world started getting like shaped into what it is now, you know? Like it used to be people were fighting over the ability to do the same thing in the same place for most of history. It's like, y'all are living off the land here. We want to be living off the land here. We're going to fight over it, you know? Before white people came to fight the Native Americans were fighting each other over pieces of land. You know, like different tribes, because they did not consider themselves as all Native Americans. They didn't see themselves as one big fucking unified people across the continent that is the United States. You know, there's a bunch of different peoples colonizing one another before other colonists showed up and were more powerful at colonizing the colonizers that were there, which is just, that's history. That's all of history. A bunch of little colonies trying to colonize each other because they get desperate. Typically what happens is they start building something. It's going good. They get too cocky, too confident, get too many people. Things go bad. Everyone starts dying. They're desperate to keep all these people that they've now got alive. So they need to take resources from somewhere else. And other people don't want to share those resources because they're going through the same shit. So now they got to fight about it. And in the end, enough people die that there's not as many resources to go around, and the people who are left get to live. That's how history worked. And then industrialization made it so that kind of scarcity in certain places just doesn't like exist. People don't die of austerity in the United States. They do, but like most of them, like you can fairly successfully be homeless. Like you're more likely to die of drug overdose than of hunger in the United States, you know? So like, because you could find fucking waste food to eat. Like there's just people are throwing food away constantly here. It's a different world from the past. And like, I think what people are really trying to get away from, it's not about getting back to colonialism. It's about getting back to pre-industrialization. It's about returning to a time when theoretically there were untamed wildernesses that you could show up at with a lot of know-how and spunk and turn that into a livable place. You know, like you could, for certain parts of history, like he was making it out like the only time anyone ever showed up somewhere and set up camp was when the Europeans came, killed the Indians, and took their fort. It's like, what about when the Native Americans got there in the first place? and it was just a bunch of cows and fucking bulls and bears and rodents, and that was America. There wasn't any fucking people here. People are not an innate part of, depending on who you ask, people are not an innate part of North America. At some point, we arrived here. We set up camp. And I'm saying we because I count myself as a member of humanity. I do not count myself as a part of Eurocentric United States history. Like, it's so weird how focused he is on U.S. history when he's talking about like a completely broad human spectrum emotion and also fucking games from all over the world. We took land from the cows. Honestly, we have probably created way more cows than ever existed beforehand. We took land from the bison. We took land from the bears, especially. We killed all the bears. In North America, we killed all the grizzly bears because they were too dangerous. So we just killed all the grizzly bears. We killed all the dodo birds. We killed all the red sparrows. We've extinguished plenty of creatures from North America. But the cougars, yeah. Some of those are still around, but most of them are gone. But yeah, like the cows, we have in fact multiplied beyond any description. And chickens, cows, chickens, pigs, we've made them the most populated big mammals that have ever existed on this continent. I just think this dude doesn't know enough about history or colonization to be trying to have these thoughts about it. Frankly, I just think I think he understands social justice and that colonialism is a bad thing, but he doesn't really understand what colonialism is or the history of it or how, like, he understands U.S. history, but like even then not in a way that he's like sympathetic to it. He's like, people did bad things. And I'm like, yeah, okay, sure. That's a part. Like, yes, everything they did was very bad. Also, did you notice most of them froze to death? I don't know. Anyway, that's enough about that. If anybody else has any other requests, I'll take them. And if not, I won't take them. I'm gonna play the Beholder again while I wait for requests, because I'm frankly all I want to do is chill and listen to my tunes.
Alternate probabilities existing in the same
I'm a homophone, I'm a homicide, I'm a homophobe. I promise I got a lock and load with a tentacle on a transphobe in the frontal lobe. Like pop, spread ahead like a centerfold. I'm horrifying to behold, like a floating eye in a dungeon crawl. The beholder, older than my age, and her pressing eggs and her shaking legs. If you let me to a peg, and without much, I'm a cloud muncher, a bed puncher, a cop dodger, call father, a cat caller, on a cat collar.
If you're still hearing that crackling, it's not my fault then, because I haven't touched this fucking microphone.
I'm a scrappy little beast. Every dog up in this bitch is chomping at the piece. I'm a peaceful bliss down, hit me with a mean streak. Please step into the front so you can see me. In your face, every place I visit, I'm ugly, cute like an ungulate. I'm fun to spin with, then I'll make you jump. If you're grunt, let me see those motherfucking buzz up. Yeah.
I feel like we had this crackling problem one time before, and I solved it somehow.
My heart is lemonade, raised by a northern Everglade. It's the swampy age, it'll stop your face if you draw to gay. I'm a proper raid every single day, everywhere I stay. Been around the bay, been around the USA. Make my head in Corbin next to Colonel Sanders, then I pray. Hustle out, lay all price drop rapidly. Richard residents are on vacation, sort of stow away until the deed is mine one day. Fuck it, we swap the day.
The rest all
all of us. Get real, get right, get money, get tight, get honey, get by, get horny, get fly, get money, get mine, kill Tony, kill crime, no phony, don't lie, get on it, get real, get right, get money, get tight, get honey, get by, get horny, get fly, get money, I'm a scrappy little beast. Every dog up in this bitch is chopping at the piece. I'm a peaceful blissed out. Hit me with a mean streak, please be step into the front so you can see me. In your face, every place I visit, I'm ugly, cute like an ungulate. I'm fun to spit with, and I'll make you jump if you crush. It's the fucking boss. If you cry, let me see those motherfucking boss. If you cry, let me see those motherfucking boss.
I just realized when I was listing all those half-finished songs earlier, I didn't even mention Submersible.
Motherfuckers think I don't sleep, don't eat, just peep game and they right. I'm a too bright night light, strike it blind, make it frightful, so delightful, mind brightener. If you're hiding something in that darkness, she's a frightener. Harkins are Garden of Eden to the sweetest hardening of a clean spark. Here we go, get it raw, so you glance, hear it. You're entranced by the camera, slammed by a man, bruh. Clamoring for more ham in your gams, huh? Man loving man, I'm a fan, bruh. I like it. Saucy, yeah. I'm a scrappy little beast. Every dog up in this bitch is chopping at the piece. I'm a peaceful, blissed out. Hit me with the mean streak, please be. Step into the front so you can see me. In your face, every place I visit. I'm ugly, cute like an ungulate. I'm fun to spit with, then I'll make you jump if you crumb. Let me see those pop fucking paws up, paws up. Yeah. If you crook, let me see those motherfucking bars up, yeah, yeah. If you crook, let me see those motherfucking bars up. Wanna stroll through my soul, you pay the troll toll each day. Rent if you wanna stay inside of me. Spend like a reverie, weather be jitters, but I get heavy dick in it when I win it, better bet. Chicks are an old idea, do you remember? We rhymed about getting them from January through December. I've always been a spender with some cheap taste. Burned through a whole pound of green with some mean haze. Like I'm Titus with the Midas touch.
I'm gonna listen to this beat that I forgot about also. See if I got anything that goes with it. Not that I forgot, but I'd forgotten the name of it and I couldn't find it.
Trial of the Golden Way.
Oh, you know what? I might have the one for this. Yeah. Hey, Trixie. When I'm on my Yokohama Kai, that Shikiko, you know I'm taking life slow. No dough, no dough, no dough in the dojo like Cobra Kai. Before becoming that guy, I was not fly in high school, and I'm not fly right now too. I'm 2 feet to ground and my head's like ostrich down. No pheasant, my audio hostage now. Pleasant like a frown. Hear my peasant sounds, drop a quarter in my cup like I'm corner performer down bad. And don't get glad, get mad, no sad boy shit. This is raging bitch after half a pinch of some calm the fuck down shit. I want acid, I could really use a tab of acid. Got no connection, no action. I'm a really sad recluse with no real excuse. I make YouTube poop and eat frozen waffles. Fuck like hoes and brothels. Damn, that really rhymes. And I really eat blueberry waffles all the time. No blue waffles, stick with dick every time. And I don't waffle when it's time to rhyme. I go full throttle, bottle this piss and sell it like a fucking supermodel. I'm a whole ensemble in a whole ensemble. So philosophical, call me Aristotle. And remember my right to be hostile. Yeah. Something like that. I'm a trip to here. Whip crack open my beer. I I said some shit, better quit, get me out of here. I'm inspiring too much fear, cause I'm super queer. Please don't say you are lazy. That day honto wa crazy, wavy, tide water, tidal waves. Say I'm brave, say I'm crazy. The way I told it, lay a gray. You say I'm obnoxious, I say it's just God shit. Goddess, empress, temptress of rap, it's just hog shit, mog shit, just for former kids from the mosh pit. Birds calling me. I'm rapping on stream? Yeah, why? Am I too loud? No, I'm in the office. Am I really loud? Oh, sorry. I'll stop doing that then. I didn't realize how loud I was being. Yeah. All right. Good to know. Well, I think that fits pretty well, though. I should not have rapped it quite so loud, because apparently Bird could hear me from well far away. All right, we'll watch that part of that video that Lucario mentioned. And then I'm probably going to go to bed. Lily Orchard. Anyone else tired of bickering siblings? 13:05. Let me go for 5 minutes from there. God, this is long.
Okay, now that that's over with and my privacy has been thoroughly decimated, I want to ask you guys a question that we're going to revisit at the end. Who are also there. But if I could shift
Why is there
gears
a
away
whole
from
different
Avatar for
character? Did Lily change character? Whoa.
often. And then you have Mako and Bolin, who are also there. But if I could shift gears away from Avatar for a minute, I'd like to highlight one example of a sibling relationship that I think is not only great, but should serve as a fucking model for writing them. Lily, are you really citing Digimon as a model for anything but corporate cash grabs? Shut your fucking face hole, voice in my head. Digimon is actually capable of some really emotionally moving storytelling when it wants to. And its
Very
writing,
nostalgia
while awkward
critic.
as sin, was a lot better than I ever gave it credit for. I mean, it had both a tomboy and a girly girl on the main cast and gave them both equal billing and made them equally valuable to the group without slinging unnecessary mud at one or the other. For 1999,
You ever heard
that
of
wasn't
Power
just
Rangers?
good. That was fucking unheard of. And the way this show wrote Tai
No, it
and Kari
wasn't.
was fucking astounding because it's not just good, it highlights both how one's experiences informs their approach to their relationships and how the both of them grow as people.
Not
Tai
app.
and Kari
Save
are
that
like
for
water
tomorrow. I'm
and
going to
more
bed
water.
after
They
this
stick
one.
together through damn near everything. But because Tai is a lot older, he's extremely protective of Kari. Okay, Lily, we're back on the older brother thing. When does the PTSD come in? He almost killed her once. Yeah, that shut you up real fucking fast. When Tai was a kid, he almost got Kari killed by taking her out to play soccer when she was sick, because Tai, being 8, was so focused on soccer he didn't really think about anything else. But when Kari develops pneumonia and almost died, well,
You're fine. Are you alright?
Yeah, more or less. Just trying to get out of here. You can cut that door now, you know.
Uncommon visitation from my granddad.
well, I played it 2 videos ago. Let's play it again.
But what really kills me
I'm
is
guessing he was
what
probably
she
going to
said
turn
when
the
we got
light
home from
off.
the hospital. The first words out of her mouth.
Tai, I'm sorry I can't kick the ball very good. You'll probably never want to play with me again.
This all comes to a head in an episode where Kari gets sick again and Tai's running all over Hell's Half Acre looking for medicine, which is where all this is laid out. Ironically, you see how much Tai is fizzing on an adrenaline high by the fact that Kari ultimately ends up being okay after some rest, as she's already up and walking around when Tai gets back. Now, this is where things get weird.
Oh god, Lily, you're not about to bring up that interview again, are you?
No. See, Kari's characterized by Tai as this selfless person who is always worried about the other kids and has the self-preservation instinct of Stockton Rush reincarnated as a dodo bird. But in the original, Kari's actual issue is that she idolizes her brother to a level just short of lunacy, and what she's actually doing in the flashback is apologizing for disappointing him. There's an episode in the sequel series that is literally just about the way Kari devalues herself and waits for Tai to save her when she's in trouble, and even gets called out on it. But in the dub, because this side of Kari has been excised, it's about her own self-confidence. So the two of them are in many mesh to a degree, and both their character arcs is about
Enmeshed.
stabilizing that enmeshment. Kari becomes less dependent, and Tai
Enmeshment.
accepts that Kari isn't going to be killed if he looks the other way again. But the affection the two have for each other is never lost with that character arc. It stays there even 15 years, multiple writers, and an animation downgrade later. As older teenagers and adults, they're in much healthier places, but they're still the best of friends. Even before this point, the two of them are just adorable. Ever seen the movie? The both of them are little BBs, and they're so close, Tai can understand Kari's whistling, to the point that Kari mostly sticks to the whistle with him.
I know what we can do. Let's use it as a soccer ball. You're right, it probably wouldn't bounce that high. Well, now that it's here, how do we get rid of it? We can't keep it. Where's it gonna sleep? Oh no, not in my
It's so
bed.
fucking adorable.
Fine, then it sleeps on the couch.
Mom, what are you anyway? I'm a Digimon, short for digital monster. I'm from the digital world.
Shout out Mamoru
Only
Hosoda.
whistle at me.
This is a concept known as enmeshment, where typical boundaries in a familiar
I didn't know this was like a thing in like psychology or whatever.
relationship are slowly worn away, and the two people involved become increasingly entangled with one another. The degree to which this is a problem tends to differ from culture to culture. Some places you're expected to drop everything when family needs you, and in other places, if you tell your sibling I love you past the age of 12, people look at you funny. Enmeshment exists on a scale, but most people who hear about it only really hear about it when it reaches the point where the siblings literally cannot exist without one another. And most stories about enmeshment usually end up going that route as well, along with the other thing. This is where people get skittish about sibling relationships depicted in art. The thing about an escalating issue like this is that by its very nature, it only gets worse over time. That's what the danger of enmeshment is. But if it stays where it is and is stable and isn't getting worse, then there really isn't an issue. I don't like getting into the murky area of psychology because I never actually finished my degree, and people who use psychology major as a way to presume authority annoy me, but fiction and reality are not as separate as the shouty guy on Twitter likes to believe, so I have to. And enmeshment is the reason people get a bug up their ass about siblings in art and in reality being too close. And of course, if a pair of siblings in a work are affectionate with each other, the fetishists smell blood and come running. And it's not that there aren't siblings with deeply close relationships out there who have perfectly healthy lives, but they're often made to feel like something is wrong with them. I actually started writing stories about deeply close siblings in 2024, the first of which was a series of shorts about Kira Morgan and her mute older sister Iris. The two of them are best friends, deeply affectionate with one another.
Definitely seems
Kira can
like a
understand
bit of a
Iris on a level
fixation.
nobody else can, and they live together practically their entire lives. Iris adores her sister, and when Kira gets married, she adores her wife as well. It's all very cute as they emotionally support each other through everything. And it was branded as emotional incest by the deranged fucks who stalk my every move within a day, because they cuddled and told each other they loved each other. But that's par for the course for this crowd that tails me like a pack of vaguely confused ducklings. Each other, they loved each other. But that's
Yes, it is my sister saying an incest comic is hot. Yes, I am creeped out.
par for the course for this crowd that tails me like a pack of vaguely confused ducklings. But the thing that I found really interesting was the replies filled with people talking about how it had tugged at a heartstring they didn't know they had. One person said it resonated with them as someone who also cuddled with their sibling. A few others matched that sentiment, and others even said they had to call their siblings after reading it just to tell them they loved them. Someone's brother was probably
I know I've gone over 5 minutes, but I'm this is the fascinating part actually for
getting an
me.
unusual call that day. Sorry if you thought your sister was dying, dude. But it made me realize that while rather suspicious people are quick to scream too close if siblings don't hate each other, there's an underserved audience who would quite like to see sibling relationships that are affectionate and close without it getting weird. Worse,
I think she just said really the whole point. She just wants to have a real sibling relationship that doesn't get sexual and weird. Because I guess she was denied that in real life. I'm not sure. I'm going to leave y'all with this before I go to bed.
I just wanted some time with my brother. You little dope. You big goof. You're more twisted than a car wreck. And you're full of Hey, I'm doing my best to go straight and you still mistrust me? You think you're too good for your brother.
You've got it all wrong. I've always wanted a real brother relationship with you.
You do? I'd like nothing better. I could have been melted, man.
Getting sentimental.
Now we're even.
How
My body can take it. I want to take you down myself. Come on and try it. Whatever you say, bro. I can remove it. Don't mind me. Feel free to I could have been getting sentimental, man. Getting milk, getting milk, getting milk. Getting milk, getting milk. Getting Don't mind me. Feel free to lead off anytime.
Classic, absolute classic. Okay, Ollie, I'll watch a little bit more of this just till the end of the segment.
Okay,
but
now
I'm
that
really
that's
trying to
over
go
with,
to
I might
bed.
herself and waits for
Let's use it.
differ from
Where were
is
we around
Icarus.
here?
The two of them are best. Proud the tail are quick to scream too. Look, I'm gonna say it right here. Unless you're fucking or you can't have any other meaningful connections with other people, then the truth is that whatever boundaries you have with your sibling are fine for you. But Lily, if siblings are cuddling and telling each other how much they mean to each other, that's a sign of something icky. Icky? What are you, 5? That's incesty. Do you want to have that conversation? Because I know you don't. I know you think partaking in that conversation at all is suspicious. Too late. You started it. Now you're going to lie in it. See, the thing about incest is that it doesn't actually emerge from supportive, loving relationships. You take two siblings who adore and cherish each other and who are also capable.
I'm going to do this thing, and you're going to think it's weird that I'm going to do this thing, and I'm going to acknowledge that you're going to think it's weird that I'm going to do this thing, but I'm going to do this thing because you shouldn't think it's weird.
Capable of having healthy relationships with other people, and the likelihood they're going to fall in love with each other is like 1%. Incest is predominantly abusive, and if it's not abusive, it's coercive, and if it's not coercive, it's codependent, and if it's not codependent, it's statistically irrelevant. A lot has to have gone wrong before a pair of siblings gets to this point. And the thing is, we all know this. Even people who aren't survivors of it know this. Even tacky books and terrible fetishistic visual novels know this. It's not like if you just spend too much time with someone, your brain snaps and tries to get you to rut onto them. What world are you living in where that's a real thing that happens? It just doesn't. Not at a scale anyone gives a shit about. But I'll tell you what does real damage: when you pass around this idea that cherishing your family is suspicious. That's the point where you're going to start messing with some poor kid's head whose only crime is wearing their heart on their sleeve and being full to bursting with affection. Some people are just like that. They feel things very strongly, and if they love someone, they love them a lot and want to shower that person in affection. And the only reason this is assumed to be romantic is because we're all taught that it is, but it has no basis in fact. And in fact, the belief itself is the only reason we believe love to be this way. And the thing is, there is a reason you believe this.
All right, so in all seriousness, I'm totally on her side. Like, on everything she's arguing here, I agree. It's only like I mean, she basically said it herself, right? Like, methinks you protest too loudly. It's just like, it's, if you didn't have a weird relationship with your sibling and everyone knew it, this wouldn't seem weird. And you probably wouldn't be pointing out how weird it could seem to people if they didn't know that, like, I wish she would have taken the opposite approach and just leaned in and be like, hey, I had a weird relationship with my sibling. Here's what I would have liked it to be like, like that would have been like, oh yeah, I can relate, as opposed to like, well, it's my relationship was weird, so I like relationships that aren't weird, but that doesn't make it weird. Like the fact that I'm trying to escape the weirdness by liking these. And so if you're telling me that this is weird, then I can't define my border of what's weird. Anyway, that's enough Lily Orchard. That's enough videos. I'm going to bed. Good night, everybody. I'll see you tomorrow morning. Or something. I don't know.